Alright, so I'm actually sitting outside an appointment right now. It was supposed to be at 2:30 and it's 2:31, but luckily the guy shot me a text that he was heading out for a late lunch, so he's going to be a little bit late. And I sell digital advertising, so that's what it's dealing with. But anyways, it gave me a chance to talk to you guys for a minute, and that sparked the idea. I wanted to talk about drug testing for employment and for welfare recipients, because the idea lately, it's always been long-standing for welfare, but the idea lately has been, it's gained a lot of traction at the state level to drug test welfare recipients. And, it's a shame that it fits on a bumper sticker and a tweet so easily, but this idea has been pushed a lot that, well, I have to pass a drug test to receive my employer's check. Why shouldn't somebody else have to pass a drug test to receive my tax dollars? And, that sounds like a great idea, but I'm going to tell you why it's harmful. And don't get me wrong, I've got two sides to it, but don't get me wrong, I don't think that anybody who doesn't have the resources to provide for their family should be spending money they do not have on any drugs, and that even includes marijuana, alcohol, or tobacco. I think that it shows a severe deficit of priorities if you can't buy food, but you're buying something that you shouldn't, especially if you have other people depending on you. But that said, with these state welfare drug testing programs, they actually were shown pretty quickly to not earn the states any money, and to both cost more and cause more problems than they fixed. So, Florida was the first one to implement the program, and they found out pretty quickly two things. First of all, the way it was set up was that if you passed the drug test, the state had to pay for it, and you'd receive your benefits. And if you failed the drug test, you had to pay for your drug test, and you didn't receive benefits. Well, they found out two things. First of all, they found out that the amount of drug users is no higher percentage-wise among unemployed peoples than it is in the general population, which I think was a really good stereotype buster, because I think there's this commonly held sentiment that people that have to receive unemployment are just loafing, lackadaisical, drug-using losers. And, that's a harmful sentiment. A lot of the people are just in between jobs and down on their luck. But they also found out that it was costing the state a lot more money in paying for past drug tests than they were saving in withheld benefits. That was pretty cut and dry, so I'm not going to take time on the math, but I do even want to talk about the social costs of any time that the benefits were withheld. Not that we should continue to subsidize people's poor habits, but it is pretty well shown that there's a very, very strong correlation between poverty and crime. So if you put somebody in a desperate situation where suddenly they're not going to earn benefits for a year because they smoked a joint 3 weekends ago, chances are they're going to do something a little more desperate. And also, if they have other people depending on them, the kids are going to go hungry because dad smoked a joint 3 weekends ago? That's not right. So yes, personal responsibility comes into play, but you got to think about all those other factors. And secondly, I just want to talk about why I shouldn't have to pass a drug test for employment. Who I am between 9 and 5, or 8:30 and 5 in my case, is, that's my employer's business. That's where I need to perform at the top of my game, be the best that I can be, and try to increase their bottom line. But they shouldn't give two shits about who I am between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. as long as I'm not doing anything that reflects poorly on the company. Drug testing it's a farce. It's just an expensive way to tell absolutely nothing about a person that isn't already apparent. Somebody's a marijuana user, and, well, a state cop just pulled in. Anyways, sorry, still got cop scares because of my arrest a year and a half ago. But looks like they're just here for service. I'm at a car dealer. And let's see. Alright, so anyways, if someone chooses to use pot, it doesn't necessarily mean absolutely that they're unhireable. I mean, would I hire your stereotypical stoner? No. But that's not because of their marijuana use. That's because they look like a dirty, scummy loser So, most marijuana users aren't your stereotypical pot users, and that just has to be said. Likewise, I think that you have plenty of bad candidates that are not drug users that can pass a drug test. So I think, I mean, maybe I'm overstating this problem, but there's a real issue of just the fact that you might not be getting the best candidate for the position just because of an absolute that would prevent, somebody who's really highly qualified and intelligent from passing a drug test because they smoked something, 3 weekends ago. So, I think that there's plenty of other things you can use to tell important aspects of a person's work habits and who they are that don't involve drug testing. And I think that it just kind of, even with the welfare thing, it's just a way that's going to cause more social problems than what it fixes. So that's my take on that. Happy to receive your comments or whatever, but thanks for listening.